The internet is home to a plethora of communities. Whether it's media, food, or even philosophical topics, there's some place somewhere for it. And YouTube is a big host for many of them. Many communities have been discussed on this platform in good and bad lighting. And over the years, they all go through their peaks in popularity. And there's one fandom that had its time in the spotlight, but now seems to have faded into obscurity. That being the stick animation community, and even more specifically, RHGs. So I'm gonna go through a general history of one of the internet's most obscure communities. In 2002, a man named Matt Calver created Stick Figure Death Theater, a website that featured animations of stick figure deaths. This website hosts the beginning of some popular figures in the community, such as Turquoise and Ed Good. The website lasted until August 2nd, 2013, but there is a Facebook group dedicated to having animations that were once on the website archived there. This leads us to 2005, where a man named Travis Stevens, more well known as Stone, created a website called Rockhard Anims, where users would animate battles with others and post them on the website, where users voted on the one they liked more. Whichever animation won was uploaded and declared the official battle on YouTube. The stick characters participating were known as Rockhard Gladiators. A lot of well-known sticks in the community first appeared here: Junko, Oxob, Frankie, Mr. Kickman, and many others. Things seemed to be all well and good until sometime around 2006, where the website began to have hosting issues, which led Stone to create another website called Fluid Anims. Here, the community continued to grow and the popularity of stick fight animations was rising, and many more sticks would enter the scene right before the community's surge in popularity. Stone's website was doing very good. More and more users were coming into the space, and RHGs were becoming ever so popular. However, Stone wanted to give the people in his community more opportunities and possibly make a career out of stick animation. He also wanted a more stable website, but didn't have the financial means to enact on it. Luckily enough, in 2012, he was contacted by Jason Witham, aka Crazy J, the founder of StickPage. Jason built a track record of platforming animators via his site, usually paying somewhere from $50 to $100 per sponsor. He offered to move Rockhard Anims over to StickPage, allowing Stone to operate on a more stable website while also giving users the opportunity to financially benefit from their work. This seemed like a no-brainer. That being the case, Stone agreed, thus making the Rockhard Anims and StickPage merge official. Little or a lot did they know, this would launch the stick animation community into the stratosphere. As you all know, in the mid-2000s, Flash games were an incredibly popular thing, which was a benefit to the StickPage website. At this point in time is where the RHG community was at its highest. Sticks were figuring and the community was growing. This led to the formation of clans. These clans consisted of multiple sticks and each had their own introduction video. Now, there are too many lesser known clans to cover, but the more famous ones were Velox, Style, Nemesis, Hex, and of course Soldier. The funny part about Soldier is it starts off by killing Velox, and from what I could look up is the most popular clan introduction video, heavily surpassing Velox's original introduction video. The members of Velox were Roll, Alpha, PH, Ubercut, Default, and Alpha again. I would assume at this time Turquoise had them as separate sticks and then eventually merged them. Keeping the lime color was a great decision. Style consisted of some of the OG RHGs such as Oxob, who later joined Nemesis, Frank, Plasma Ghost, Sludgy, Blazer, Druncho, and Mr. Kickman. Nemesis had Jade, Kuryu, Katie, Oxob, Kusura, Oriza, Umbrella, and Ibex. Hex had Krivern, Croy, Wayne, Quickfeet, and some blue guy, according to this comment. And the well-renowned Soldier had Jom, Yo-Yo, Mick Wizard, Oreo, Omni, and Chuck. Everyone who's in the community knows about most of these, but to those who aren't, you'll see some of these sticks throughout this video. I'm not sure how long these clans were together, nor do I know if anything was done with them. The only clan that seemed to have a bit of a storyline was Nemesis. Fun fact, Nemesis leader Jade was created by Camila Cuevas, the creator of Glitchtail. Something that wasn't as prominent as clans were rivalries. There aren't a ton of them, but the ones that exist are pretty cool. Alpha and Yo-Yo had a small rivalry consisting of 2 fights, Yo-Yo winning the first and Alpha winning the second. John vs. Wrench was a very exciting rivalry consisting of 3 fights, although I couldn't find the second one. Their final fight is really good though. Although it's pretty one-sided, the animation was really nice. It's also pretty cool that L-Boy, the creator of Wrench, was the one who animated it. That's interesting since animators usually have their sticks win, but he didn't do that for storyline purposes. And although I couldn't find much of the storyline with their rivalry, there were storylines that went along with many other RHGs. Oxob with his journey to joining Nemesis, Gilded Guy and his crazy adventures from dancing in a basement to surviving a gooey bog to facing off Jade in a Coliseum, Umbrella and his story of taking back control of himself, Wrench with his recovery after the fight with Jom, and Alpha with his path to retirement after a long career of 1,000 wins and 0 losses. Of course, his only loss being his last battle. Although there are some fights with him losing, like the one against the French, but I'm not sure if that one is canon or not. There are uncanon fights in the community, which lets me smoothly transition to one-off projects. A lot of the popular videos in this fandom were from one-off fights. Chuck vs. Alpha is a fight that takes place during an active bank robbery. Umbrella vs. Frankie was a storyline fight happening live at the beach, which eventually has them fighting in an airplane. Yes, one in the air. Oreo vs. Mr. Pix is a rather short battle, but it has a cool intro. Beard Ninja is about a bearded ninja who gets invaded by other ninjas, then ninjas with unique weapons. Looking for answers leads him to a nightclub and he's put up against everyone there. Afterwards, he reaches the top where he gets sent to the past and fights Mustache Ninja, although I won't spoil Beard Ninja 2 for you, so I'll just leave that in the description. Knight vs. Balance is a great battle between two clans on a battleship. Hopstick is a massive brawl featuring the biggest stars in the stick animation community, from Fancy Pants to Xiao Xiao to Henry Stickmin to Alpha to Joe Zombie and even the Ghost Hunters. I wonder how many people actually remember the Ghost Hunters. Ice Cream was a mini-series created by Jom where he was assigned a job to retrieve a package from Giovanni. When he got there, Giovanni was captured, and with the help of a couple of friends, Jom had to fight his way to the top floor to save him. It turns out that Giovanni didn't survive, and they left the package before the building exploded. In Ice Cream 2, Jom gets assigned another job where he needs to retrieve more ice cream. One of the goons mentioned how the new boss's color is cool. Keep this in mind as this will be important real soon. A monster neutralizes them both, and right before it finishes them off, the boss swoops in just in time. The thing is, Jom and Only's boss is the new boss, replacing Giovanni. He kills Only, which enrages Jom, and they have a big fight. Jom uses Only's sword to stab him off an edge, and they both fall. Jom was the only survivor. There are 2 more videos, but I don't think they're canon due to their silliness. Weirdly enough, the series isn't even on Jom's channel. Overall, I really enjoyed Ice Cream. It's a really nice mini-series. These are all great, but there is a project that I believe is one of the greatest collaborations in the stick animation community. Rockhard Coliseum is a game that pits the most popular sticks against each other in a death match. All you do is choose who you think will win the fight, and if you pick right, you get a point. Pick wrong and you lose one. Get at least 7 correct and you'll move on to the RHC Hall of Fame, where you can select the fighters you want to see in the sequel, although that never came. I really like Rockhard Coliseum. There's not much to it, but I think something like this is really great. There's something else, however, that I feel like had an even bigger impact in the community. Slush Invaders was a big animation project by Stick Michael, aka Gilded Guy, who was one of, if not the biggest figure in the stick animation community. It's about a rescue mission to save the leader of the Slushers, Stick Andrew. Apparently, according to this comment, the names of the Slushers were based off of Gilded Guy's college roommates, which is cool if true. The animation features various stick figures with their own unique abilities and colors. There's a guy with plasma, a guy who can summon portals, and even one with a lightsaber. The video is overall awesome, and every time I watch it I get the same excitement from it. From the music synchronization, to the subtle storytelling, to the constant fight scenes, everything about this is just sick. One guy stated that all of these characters have so much personality without saying anything, and that is so true. You can just see from how Gilded Guy animated them, what they're like and how they operate. This, in my humble opinion, is the magnum opus of the stick figure community. This is my favorite video from the fandom. There's even a game where you can toss around and Mr. Blue with various characters you unlock. There's different maps with a ton of levels and a boss fight every now and then. I've beaten this game more times than I should have been allowed to. Gilded Guy is genuinely a great animator, and I recommend checking out all the stuff he's made. There hasn't been a lot that has gained traction in the animation community in a while. The last thing I can think of that got some bit of traction was Combat Gods, which is a good animation. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that the community is completely dead, but it hasn't been mainstream in a while. I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't know a lot of people who are into stick animation fights, even back then. Now, I will admit, I myself am not knowledgeable about everything in the stick animation community, but it has been a big part of my childhood. I genuinely love the community and the things created within it, and who knows, maybe I might contribute something to it myself someday. Who knows, but I would love to see something in the community that would put it back on the map in some way.